adventure start in a new land. Take me there, create a new plan. We are starting again. Adventure start in a new land. Take me there, create a new plan. We are starting again. I know your one is ready. The last time we are prepared. Oh, this time we'll take them down with our bare hands. The enemies won't notice our new plan, our new plan, our new plan. The enemies won't notice our new plan, our new plan, our new plan. The enemies won't notice our new.
so many time passed by. Don't know why I'm losing my mind. Ego was so strong inside. At this point I just lived a lie. I just lived a lie. I wish I could tell you why. I wish I could feel you again, but I know it's too late, and I know you're away. There's a chance to apologize. Nah, nah, nah. It's a goodbye, just a goodbye. Forever and ever, you never come back. Just a goodbye, forever goodbye. I sit in my ride, thinking about you. Drive through the night, I got nothing to lose. Strobe city lights, they can tell me the truth. Tell me what I should do, I got nothing to lose. I got nothing to lose, thinking about you. Drive through the night, I got nothing to lose. Strobe city lights, they can tell me the truth. Tell me what I should do, I got nothing to lose. I sit in my so many time passed by. I saw you last time. This is my last ride. I wish we're gonna see us on the other side. This is my last ride. On the other side. It's a goodbye, just a goodbye. Forever and ever, you never come back. Just a goodbye, forever goodbye.
the history of every single Robin from DC Comics. The original Robin is Dick Grayson, the son of an acrobat family called the Flying Graysons. Everything's going peachy until the circus they perform in makes 3 big mistakes. 1, stopping in Gotham. 2, not paying a mobster protection money. And 3, not assuming someone is always trying to kill circus performers. It's more common than you think. The trapeze is sabotaged and Dick's parents fall to their death. Bruce Wayne witnesses the tragedy and makes a decision.
Alfred, I'm adopting the Grayson boy. I know what it's like to watch your family die so horribly.
I think that's a wonderful idea, sir. Having him around the manor may do some good for both of you.
I'm gonna let him dress up in a colorful costume with no pants and fight murderers and lunatics by my side.
Sir, have you thought this through?
Hey, kid, you wanna go work out your feelings of turmoil on the dangerous city streets?
Yay! Batman and Robin become an unstoppable crime-fighting team. Unfortunately, as the years go by, their relationship becomes strained.
Screw Batman! I'm skipping town and starting my own superhero team.
Very good, Master Dick.
And it's gonna have other teenage heroes like me.
Very good, young sir.
And I'm gonna change my name, too. I'm gonna be Nightwing.
Whatever gets you out of this cave, lad. It's too late for me. Save yourself.
The second Robin is Jason Todd, a troubled kid with no good abusive parents. One night, Batman catches Jason trying to steal hubcaps from the Batmobile, but instead of a beatdown, Batman decides that what the boy really needs is some guidance and makes him the new Robin. Unfortunately, there are complications.
I am so angsty! So much emotional baggage!
Then the Joker captures Jason, beats him with a crowbar, and blows him up. Jason's fate was left to be determined by a call and poll by the readers of all things.
No! What sick, cruel hand of fate would let this happen?
Jason would eventually return from the dead thanks to some reality-altering shenanigans, where he'd become the murderous criminal Red Hood. Later, after some more reality-altering shenanigans, Red Hood becomes an anti-hero and travels the world killing criminals. The third Robin, Tim Drake, came along shortly after Jason's death.
Hey, Bruce, you okay? You seem kinda dark lately.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just like, ever since you lost Robin, you've been really edgy.
You think so?
I'm just saying, maybe a new sidekick would keep you from going full grimdark?
I'll give it some thought.
Tim is the brainy Robin and much better at detective work than the two before him. Eventually, Tim grows into his own as the superhero Red Robin, but after some more reality-altering shenanigans, Tim gets a terrible costume and leads the rebooted Teen Titans. Later, Tim changes back into something better and returns to Batman. The fourth Robin, Stephanie Brown, was Batman's sidekick for a couple of weeks before dying and reality-altering shenanigans. The fourth and current Robin is Damian Wayne, the biological son of Bruce Wayne and the villainous Talia al Ghul.
You stole my DNA to create a test tube assassin, baby?
He's got your dark hair and my love for killing things. You two will get along great.
Greetings, Father. Let us bond over a game of catch or by skinning your enemies.
Damian becomes Robin when Bruce dies, and Dick takes over the mantle. But once Bruce comes back to life, Damian finally starts working by his dad's side. Then Damian gets killed by an evil clone his mom made, his corpse gets stolen by Darkseid, and Batman dons the most metal batsuit ever to rampage across Apocalypse and bring his son back to life. But eventually, Damian starts feeling rebellious too, and pulls a Grayson to start his own Teen Titans. And so, with no Robin currently at his side, Batman stands alone in his one-man crusade against crime. You know, except for Alfred, and the GCPD, and Azrael, and Batwoman, and the Birds of Prey, and the Outsiders, and the Justice League, and...
Wow, that was a lot of teenagers. Now I'm kind of feeling kind of hormonal and angsty.
I know, right? I'm just feeling like, ugh, whatever, who cares? I roll. But I'm not feeling too cool for Jeff Lemire's Teen Titans Earth 1. Seriously, it is amazing. Check it out for more teen trouble.
And be sure to click subscribe for more essential lists, exclusive footage, and engaging interviews from around the world of DC. Wow, over 100 members of the Justice League. That's a lot of justice.
And you can get even more justice with Justice League Volume 6 in Justice League, which hits stores next week.
And be sure to click subscribe for justice.
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 So much justice.
Hey everyone, this is Benny and I've come down with the killer cold. So we asked Sal from the channel Comic Pop, and you'll find the link to his channel in the description down below, to come in and do a follow-up to his All Avengers series with an All Justice League series. Take it away, Sal.
Thank you, Benny, and welcome to every Justice League member ever, kind of. It should be interesting to know that the original DC Trinity, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, did not initially found the Justice League in the 1960s. However, let's kick things off with them anyway, because why the hell not? Kal-El, aka Clark Kent, aka Superman, Bruce Wayne as Batman, Princess Diana, aka Diana Prince as Wonder Woman, Barry Allen the Flash, Hal Jordan Green Lantern, Orin, aka Arthur Curry as Aquaman, and John Jones as the Martian Manhunter. The 70s and 80s ushered in a brand new roster of the Justice League, which included the Phantom Stranger, Ralph Dibny the Elongated Man, John Smith the Red Tornado, Shayera Hall as Hawkgirl, Zatanna Zatara as Zatanna, and Ronnie Raymond and Martin Stein collectively as Firestorm. In the 80s, a few core members of the Justice League created a Detroit branch of the team, which included Hank Hedwood III as Steel, Marie McCabe as Vixen, Paco Ramon as Vibe, and Cindy Reynolds Gypsy. In the late 80s and the early 90s, the revolving door of the Justice League was finally installed, which included so many members and so many different iterations of the team that it's kind of hard to keep track of everybody, but here are a few certainties. Ted Kord was the Blue Beetle, Billy Batson was Captain Marvel, nowadays known as Shazam, Kent Nelson was Dr. Fate, Guy Gardner was their Green Lantern, Scott Free was Mr. Miracle, Kimio Hoshi was Dr. Light, Michael Carter as Booster Gold, Nathaniel Adam as Captain Atom, Vladimir Mikoyan as Rocket Red 7, Dmitry Pushkin as Rocket Red 4, Beatriz DaCosta as Fire, Tora Olafsdottir as Ice, Felindar as Hawkman, Sharon Parker as Hawkwoman, Helena Bertinelli as the Huntress, Linda Strauss as the new Dr. Fate, Solus as Light Ray, Orion of Apocalypse as Orion, Joseph Jones as General Glory, Hugh Dawkins, Tasmanian Devil, the alien warrior Princess Maxima of Almerac as Maxima, Ray Terrell as the Ray, Ryan Kendall as Black Condor, Benjamin Lockwood as Agent Liberty, the elusive and mysterious Bloodwind, and Jay Garrick as the Flash. There were also technically European and Antarctic teams, which included Buddy Baker as Animal Man, Wally West as the Flash, Rex Mason as Metamorpho, Kara Zor-El, aka Karen Starr as Power Girl, Vivian and Constance D'Army as Crimson Fox, Jay Abrams the Blue Jay, Laura Nielsen Silver Sorceress, Kandi Gupta as Maya, Paul Booker Major Disaster, Nort Niesmacher as Nort, Duncan Pramble as Multiman, Doofus Ratchet as Big Sir, Arthur Brown Cluemaster, William Talkman the Clock King, The Mighty Bruce, and Dren Keeg as Scarlet Skier. Continuing the trend in the 90s, there were 3 different Justice League teams after Zero Hour, which included Justice League America, Justice League Task Force, and Extreme Justice. Here's everybody on those teams. William McIntyre as Triumph, the modern age Carter Hall as Hawkman, Albert Rothstein as Nuklon, Todd Rice as Obsidian, Will Everett III as Amazing Man, Daniel Cassidy as Blue Devil, Sigrid Nansen as Ice Maiden, Elron, aka Despero of Kalanor as Elron, or Despero, Jennifer Barclay as Misek, and Zan and Jaina of Exor as Zan and Jaina. You remember them as the Wonder Twins. After consolidating the teams to become one big Justice League of America, we got Kyle Rayner as Green Lantern, Clara Kendall as Tomorrow Woman, Kurt Falconer as Aztec, Connor Hawke as Green Arrow, Barbara Gordon as Oracle, Patrick O'Brien as Plastic Man, John Henry Irons as Steel, Zoriel, Hippolyta of Themyscira as Wonder Woman, Barda Free as Big Barda, Matthew Tyler as Our Man, Jenny Lynn Hayden as Jade, Mark Antaeus as Antaeus, Jesse Chambers as Jesse Quick, Walter West as Dark Flash, Laura Klein as Moon Maiden, Dick Grayson as Nightwing, Faith, Kendra Saunders as Another Hawkgirl, Jason Blood, aka the Demon Entrigan, John Stewart Green Lantern, and Mantu Raven. Vera Lynn Black, aka Sister Superior, created a kind of Black Ops Justice League team called Justice League Elite, which included Menagerie, Nathan Jones as Coldcast, Naif Al-Sheikh, Cassandra Cain as Cassimi, and Mantu Dawn. After Infinite Crisis and everybody kind of called it quits, there was another Justice League which included Jason Rush and other hosts as Firestorm, Lorraine Riley as Firehawk, John Standing Bear as Super Chief, Alex Harrower as Bulleteer, Erwin Schwab as Ambush Bug, Jefferson Pierce as Black Lightning, Roy Harper as Red Arrow, and Prince Breon Markov as Geoforce. The critically panned Justice League Cry for Justice series also included Kara Zor-El, aka Linda Lang as Supergirl, Mikal Thomas as Starman, and William Congo Bill Glenn Morgan as Congorilla. While Dick Grayson was standing in for Batman, we also included Jim Harper as the Guardian, Lar Gand as Mon-El, Donna Troy, Victor Stone as Cyborg, Starfire, Jaime Reyes as Blue Beetle, and Gavril Ivanovich as Rocket Red 7. After the New 52 came into play, we got New 52 versions of Batman, Superman, The Flash, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter, all of whom had basically the same names and origins as before. A few differences, however, included Rhonda Pineda as the Atom, Emily Sung as Element Woman, Ronnie Raymond and Jason Rush as Firestorm, Billy Batson's new identity known as Shazam, Lex Luthor, Leonard Snart as Captain Cold, and Jessica Cruz as Power Ring. We also got a really cool Justice League Dark team, which included Nume Inwudu as Madame Xanadu, John Constantine, Boston Brand as Deadman, Zatanna, Rack Shade as Shade the Changing Man, Jay Young as Mind Warp, Andrew Bennett, Alba Garcia as Black Orchid, Nomo Belweya as Dr. Mist, Timothy Hunter, the monster known as Frankenstein, Amaya as Amethyst, Alec Holland as Swamp Thing, Asa as Nightmare Nurse, Pandora, Judas Iscariot as the Phantom Stranger, and Zoriel. The New 52 Justice League International also featured a lot of the same names, but here are a few new ones, including Fang Zifu, Dorcas Lee as Godiva, David Zavimbe as Batwing, Kevin Koh as Omak, Aristides Demetrios as Olympian. New 52 also created a whole new Justice League of America, which included Steve Trevor, Tatsu Yamashiro as Katana, Francisco Ramon as Vibe, Courtney Whitmore as Stargirl, Simon Baz as Green Lantern, Selena Kyle the Catwoman, and Arthur Light as Dr. Light. The only new name for the Justice League United team was Mia Bin Martin as Equinox. Now, if you can believe it, not every member of the DCU has been a member of the Justice League, but there have been a few honorary or non-official or non-active members. This would include characters like Lucas Snapper Carr, John Sargent as Sargon the Sorcerer, Charlie Parker as Golden Eagle, Adam Blake, Captain Comet, Garrett Sanford as Sandman, Sue Dibney, Adam Strange, Garth as the Tempest, Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, Jack Ryder the Creeper, Mitch Shelley as the Resurrection Man, Hiro Akamura as Toyman, and Mark Richards as the Tattooed Man. And let's not forget the Justice League staffers, which include Simon Carr, Dale Gunn, Maxwell Lord, Oberon, Catherine Colbert, Kilowog, Elron, Hannibal Martin, and Yaz. So like I said in the beginning, it's every Justice League member ever, kind of, because we've also gone through crises and flashpoints, we've had repeat members, we've had non-members and non-active members, we've had different teams that all bear the name Justice League, but hopefully you enjoyed this episode regardless. I'm Sal from Comic Pop, in for the Comic Historian, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching.
This is the history of the Joker from DC Comics. Joker debuted way back in Batman #1. Even in his earliest appearances, he was killing people with his patented Joker venom.
Look, Bats! Even with the sudden death side effects, I've still created one of the most ethical cosmetic products on the market!
But his criminal career ended when he was accidentally stabbed in the chest. The end. Or it would have been the end if a DC editor didn't force the creators to keep the Clown Prince of Crime alive.
There's a big future for this character, boys. He could be Batman's greatest enemy. He's gonna be on Hot Topic merch. People are gonna dress like him and dance down the stairs. And someday he might even have the ultimate honor of getting a Noah Sterling video.
After that strangely accurate prediction, the Comics Code Authority introduced strict guidelines for comics, including limiting violence. So the Joker's schemes included more family-friendly hijinks, including announcing his crimes in the Wanted ads, stealing a child's report card to make him cry, and driving around in a Joker-mobile. But the Joker remained menacing because of his nebulous past and lack of an origin. So they wrote him an origin. Turns out the Joker used to be a criminal called the Red Hood, who encountered Batman while committing a robbery above an open vat of acid.
It's over, Red Hood. Return the money you stole. These are good people. Let them make acid in peace.
We just want to make an honest living, selling these giant vats of acid. Well, we lost another one. It's getting to where a man can't make an honest living selling untainted vats of acid no more.
Batman would return to his darker roots in the Bronze Age of comics, and his villains followed suit.
Oh, I can't believe you killed a shark, Bats! I thought you didn't kill.
Sharks don't count.
I don't even know if I need to point this out, but this was an actual thing from the comics.
Couldn't you at least use some of that repellent of yours? I loved that great white galoot with his giant, goofy grin. He was practically a brother to me, like family. I bet you wouldn't like it if I hurt your family.
At the beginning of the modern age of comics, Joker shot and paralyzed Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, and bludgeoned to death the second Robin, Jason Todd. These two losses would permanently change the status quo of comics and haunt Batman forever. Reality-altering shenanigans! Oh, wait, never mind. I guess Barbara's okay now? Oh, and Jason's alive too?
I am so angsty!
Shut up, Jason. A few years later, Joker would also add a permanent character to the Batman franchise with his new sidekick in Batman the Animated Series.
They just keep locking me up back here and call me a menace. Ugh. Will everyone always laugh at the tears of this clown?
Not me, Mr. J. I'm busting you out of here.
But Dr. Quinzel, how are you?
Nuh-uh, Puddin'. From now on, I'm Harley Quinn.
Cute name. Not sure it'll catch on, though.
Harley Quinn, you've become so popular that we're making you your own franchise.
Oh my gosh! What an honor!
Over the years, Joker's schemes have only gotten bigger and bigger. In the past 10 years, he's successfully stolen Bruce Wayne's entire fortune, consumed Gotham in a gang war with the Riddler, and even cut off and reattached his own face just to torment the Bat family. Of course, Joker's greatest plan was the old birthday surprise.
Wow, I can't believe we all showed up to this massive stadium because a baked goods company promised free samples in the newspaper.
Well, yeah, of course we did. This is a major metropolitan area with over 8 million residents. What else is anyone gonna do on a Saturday night?
And now, presenting my birthday revenge!
Oh, nuts. Does this mean no free samples?
Well, that's the history of the Joker. Or, one of the Jokers. Maybe parts of 2 of them? Apparently there are 3 now. Still waiting for full answers on that. Trying to condense 80 years of this character's history into one clear through line is kinda impossible.
And that's the joke! Say, why aren't you laughing?
I guess I don't really get it.
Oh, loosen up a bit, kiddo. Go on, laugh.
Hey Noah, it's Max, and this is like the 7th time I'm calling you with no answer. I'm just reminding you to promote the new Patreon so we can release better videos faster. Maybe we can offer perks like behind-the-scenes art and my unedited scripts so people will know it's your fault when they complain we left out stuff.
The Justice League isn't the first team of superheroes to emerge in the DC Comics universe, but it's undoubtedly the most famous. The original JLA was conceived in 1960. It was written by Gardner Fox and debuted in The Brave and the Bold number 28. That comic united 7 pre-existing heroes: Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman, and Martian Manhunter as they joined forces to battle the enormous alien villain known as Starro. That original team lineup has become affectionately referred to by fans as the Big Seven. The exact origin story of the Justice League has changed quite a bit over the years, but for the most part, that founding lineup has remained the same. The Justice League quickly expanded into its own series from the pages of The Brave and the Bold. The team roster remained surprisingly consistent for the next several decades, especially compared to Marvel teams like the Avengers and the X-Men. But new recruits began rolling in to swell the ranks. Green Arrow became the first new member early on in 1961. He was eventually followed by the Atom in 1962, Hawkman in 1964, and Black Canary in 1969. More new recruits appeared during the 1970s, a period now referred to as the Satellite Era, a name it earned because the League set up shop in their new space station headquarters. The League eventually welcomed heroes like Phantom Stranger, Elongated Man, Red Tornado, Hawkgirl, Zatanna, and Firestorm. By this point, pretty much every major adult hero in the DC universe was a member of the League, resulting in one of the largest and most versatile groups in the team's history. DC didn't make any significant overhauls to the Justice League lineup until 1984, a time when the series began to wane in popularity in favor of titles like New Teen Titans and Uncanny X-Men. Writer Jerry Conway and artist Chuck Patton introduced a dramatically different League that included a mix of old favorites and new, more diverse recruits like Steel, Vixen, Vibe, and Gypsy. This revamped team became unofficially known as Justice League Detroit, a name it got thanks to their relocated headquarters. The Justice League evolved even more radically in the late 1980s, as writers Keith Giffen and J.M. DeMatteis and artist Kevin Maguire made their mark on the franchise with Justice League International. In this series, billionaire Maxwell Lord sponsored a new team of heroes pulled from all corners of the globe. Fans still refer to this as the Bwahaha era because of the heavier emphasis on humor and slapstick comedy. While a few old favorites like Batman and Martian Manhunter stuck around, the JLI focused mainly on newer, quirkier heroes like tech genius Blue Beetle, time traveler Booster Gold, the surly Green Lantern Guy Gardner, military man Captain Atom, Brazilian heroine Fire, Icelandic heroine Ice, and the fan favorite husband and wife duo Elongated Man and Sue Dibney. The Justice League began to evolve more and more rapidly during this time, with new members leaving and joining the team ever more frequently. The team even spawned its first offshoot in the form of Justice League Europe, a group that included Animal Man, Power Girl, Metamorpho, Crimson Fox, and even new gods like Light Ray and Orion. Most significantly, this series marked the Justice League debut of the Wally West version of Flash, the former hero known as Kid Flash, who took up the mantle after Barry Allen died in 1985's Crisis on Infinite Earths. Crisis was a major reboot intended to make sense of decades of confusing continuity issues, leading, among many other changes, to a new version of the Justice League's origin story in 1988. Which changed history so that Black Canary became a founding member in place of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. This era also saw the debut of a very short-lived team called Justice League Antarctica. Led by the villain Major Disaster, this team was tasked with defending their icy home and basically staying out of the real Justice League's way. The Justice League franchise changed again in the early 90s. Like many superhero comics of the time, it shifted away from humor and towards darker storylines with more extreme artwork. DC published several concurrent Justice League comics during this period, including the core Justice League America title and spin-offs like Justice League Task Force and Extreme Justice. These books brought back more classic Justice League members while also introducing recruits like Obsidian, Nuklon, Triumph, Blue Devil, and the modern-age version of Hawkman. Thanks to concepts like reincarnation and past lives, Hawkman's origin story began to get really complicated around this time. Extreme Justice even inducted Wonder Twins Zan and Jaina into DC's comic book universe. The comic book industry as a whole went through a major rough patch in the mid-90s, and Justice League wasn't immune to those effects. DC eventually canceled Justice League America in 1996 and relaunched the series as JLA. It was written by Grant Morrison with art by Howard Porter. Morrison and Porter brought back the team to its roots by focusing on the original Big Seven again, although most of these characters had changed a great deal in the almost 4 decades since the Justice League first debuted. This is where Green Lantern Kyle Rayner first joined the team, and he, like Wally West, found himself trying to carry on the legacy of another hero. While JLA focused mainly on the original members, it wasn't long before Morrison began filling out the ranks of his team with an eclectic cast of iconic favorites and obscure heroes. Batman's partners, Nightwing and Oracle, both made their debuts on the team during this period, as did Superman's newfound ally, Steel. Other new League members included Aztec, the Connor Hawk Green Arrow, Plastic Man, Zariel, Big Barda, Hourman, and Jade. Wonder Woman's mother, Hippolyta, even briefly filled in for her daughter. This may seem strange to fans of the animated series, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, but it wasn't until 2003's JLA number 76 that Green Lantern John Stewart was officially made a League member. The Justice League spawned another short-lived offshoot team in 2004's Justice League Elite, led by Vera Lynn Black, the sister of Superman villain Manchester Black. This team sought to become a more proactive counterpart to the main league. The Justice League underwent its next big evolution in 2006 in the aftermath of a story called Infinite Crisis, which served as a sort of sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths and caused more big changes to the DC timeline. Following a year-long hiatus in the books, the Justice League reformed with a fairly traditional roster that included most of the Big Seven and other favorites from the team's satellite era. However, the league added several new recruits in this period, including Black Lightning, Green Arrow's former sidekick Red Arrow, and Geoforce. Writer James Robinson introduced another Justice League offshoot in the 2009 miniseries Cry for Justice. In it, Green Arrow and Green Lantern formed a more aggressive team similar to the one seen in Justice League Elite, and recruited heroes like Supergirl, Starman, and Kongorilla. Shortly after, the main Justice League added Guardian and Superman's friend Mon-El to its ranks. Also, speedster heroine Jessie Quick joined 3 former Teen Titans, Starfire, Donna Troy, and Cyborg. Finally, DC also briefly revived the fan-favorite Justice League International team during this period in a year-long series called Justice League Generation Lost. Generation Lost added both the new Jamie Reyes Blue Beetle and a new version of Rocket Red to that classic lineup. The DC Comics universe underwent a major shift in 2011 thanks to the New 52 reboot, which saw DC streamline its superhero continuity and tell yet another new version of the Justice League's origin. The New 52 restored the classic Big Seven lineup with one major exception, as Cyborg replaced Martian Manhunter as a founding member. That change aside, the main Justice League team didn't actually gain any completely new members for several years. However, the New 52 did introduce several new Justice League offshoots. The series Justice League Dark featured a group of supernatural heroes that included Madame Xanadu, Zatanna, John Constantine, Deadman, Shade the Changing Man, and Swamp Thing. DC also briefly revived the Justice League International at the beginning of the New 52. It added new members like August General and Iron, Batwing, and OMAC to the team. In 2013, Suicide Squad leader Amanda Waller formed her own Justice League of America that introduced characters like Rick Flag and Catwoman to the team. That new group didn't last long, and several ex-members went on to form Justice League United, inducting Adam Strange and Equinox into the mix along the way. The core New 52 Justice League finally added its first brand new members in 2013, when Atomica and Element Woman joined the ranks. However, Atomica turned out to be a spy for Earth-3's evil crime syndicate. Ironically, this paved the way for a pair of former Justice League enemies, Lex Luthor and Captain Cold, to join up. As you might have expected, neither character stuck around for very long. In 2016, DC followed up the New 52 with another relaunch called DC Rebirth. Rebirth has so far spawned 2 main incarnations of the Justice League. The main team features a lot of familiar faces, along with newer recruits like Green Lantern's Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz, as well as Aquaman's fiancée, Mera. And while a Justice League of China has also popped up, the other major addition to the mythos involves the Dark Knight himself. Yes, Batman has formed a new Justice League of America and recruited a very unusual team that includes the Ryan Choi Atom, Lobo, and the reformed villain Killer Frost. However, a surprising lack of Robins in there though. And while dozens and dozens of heroes have served as active members of the Justice League over the years, plenty more have served as honorary members. That includes the team's original mascot, Snapper Carr, characters like the Elongated Man's wife, Sue Dibney, and cosmic heroes like Captain Comet and even the reformed villain, Tattooed Man. Of course, all these Justice League members are just from the main DC universe. DC Comics is home to a vast multiverse with infinite alternate worlds and versions of the Justice League. But to cover them all, we'd also need an infinite amount of time. One thing is certain, however. As the DC universe continues to grow, so too will its greatest superhero team, the Justice League.